Alright, today we're going to be talking about adding text and graphics to our layout. So your layout may not look exactly like mine. You may have made a few different choices than I did, and after I've created mine, I even see a few things I might decide I want to change to. But in general, I'm okay with it. Alright, so what we're going to be doing today is adding text, a text block. We're going to be editing our headline, and we're going to be adding some captions to our layout. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Alright, so the main thing we're going to be using is the text tool when we do that. And we're going to be placing our files as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to Edit, or actually it's under File, Place. And we're going to be placing the Texas Renfest 2018 file, so you want to download that if you haven't already done so. Alright, so you notice when you hit place, it's going to give you this sort of little preview of your topic, of your text. And then what I'm going to do, I don't want to click up here because it'll probably put it inside of that headline. I'm going to click right here, and I want to draw out an area where I want this to go. So I want my text to fill up this whole area. Now you notice there's a little plus right here, and what that's telling me is that there's actually still more text to go. So the other thing I want to do, I'm going to get my black arrow. I want to make sure it's inside of my margin right there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move my I'm going to use my arrow keys just like you can in Photoshop. You can nudge things. I'm going to go ahead and move that up. And I'm going to move this up like that and pull down this little bar on the bottom. There's still more to go. Alright, I'm going to actually move this all the way over here. Just kind of move it out of the way. Move this up. Let's see how much more I have. Alright, there's a lot. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now I have the entire text. Alright, now one of the things that we know about text is that readers don't like to read text that is really wide. And you see that this is 5 of our 8 columns wide on a page. That's pretty wide. So what we're going to do is we are going to increase the number of columns. So I'm going to come up here to my column tool, and I'm going to change that from 1 to 2 columns. Okay, and if it helps right now, I'm going to turn off. I'm going to go to screen mode and put this in preview mode. Turn off those guides so you can kind of see what the text looks like better. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my arrow there, and I'm going to select all the text. And the way that I'm going to do that, I don't know that that's a choice here in the menu, so I'm going to use one of my key combinations. So I have that first letter selected, and I'm going to use Control and A at the same time, and that selects all. So Control button and A on your keyboard, and it's going to select all the text. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to change our font. Remember when we were talking about fonts, we talked about serif versus sans serif, and this is a sans serif font. So we want to change it to a serif font because serif fonts are easier to read in print and in smaller text. So I'm going to pick a serif font. And so I think we're going to choose this Calibri font. Let's just go ahead and choose Calibri. Right? That's actually not a serif font. Okay, so let's select all again. Looked serif to me. How about Californian FB? That's a serif font. Alright, so we're going to use this Californian FB font. It's a pretty good looking font. Okay, so now I'm going to get my black arrow key again. And what you're going to see is that we have uneven text, or what's called ragged text. Okay, because what that means is we have more on the left than we do on the right. The way we're going to fix this is I can see that I have four rows of text. So if I raise this up by half of that, or 2 rows of text, it's going to put those other 2 rows on the other side. Now I have nice, even text. If I had 5 rows, I would want to leave the one extra empty row on the right-hand side and not try to put on the left. Okay, now I'm going to move that back down. In fact, I'm going to nudge it a little bit till the actual text is lined up. Not the frame, but the text is lined up with the picture. And now I think I'm ready to go ahead and put my grid back on. So I'm going to go up here to View. I'm going to go to Screen Mode and go back to Normal and put my grid back on. All right, now let's get our headline, our subheadline, and our headline. Nudge that down. Headline's actually going to probably go a little bit above the actual layout grid, which that's all right. I'm okay with that. I could fix that. Let's go back to View, Screen Mode, Preview. You don't really notice it in this mode, but it does look a little cramped. So what we're going to do is go back here. We're going to select all again, Control A, and we're going to change the amount of space between the lines. Okay, because there's just too much space. Too much space here between our rows, which is our leading. So over here underneath our text size, which is 12, I could reduce the text size too, but 12 is a pretty good text size. I'm going to reduce this down to about 14, or how about 16? Okay, so it was 18 before. I reduce our leading, or the space between the lines, and that's going to give us some more space. So now what do I have to do again? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. So I'm going to make that even again. And then I can move this back down. Nudge it. Alright, now I have plenty of room for my headline and my subheadline. Alright. And they're not cramped onto each other. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change this headline too. I want this headline to be more, I don't know, something that's going to match what our content is, right? So I want it to be kind of old, medieval looking. That's maybe not enough. So I'm just going to kind of go through here. Let's see, Blackadder. That could work. I want to look around. I may come back to Blackadder, right? No, Chiller. That's more horror. I don't know. Let's go with that Blackadder. I like the Blackadder. Okay. Might make it bold though. Blackadder. It doesn't look like that's an option. So some fonts don't have that as an option. So we're just going to have to go with Blackadder ITC, which is what we have. I might make it a little bigger. Let's just decide what we want our headline to say. So we're going to go with Renaissance Fair with an E, because that is how it was spelled back in those days. Texas Renaissance Fair. Okay. And I am going to move it up just a little bit. Alright, so now, subheadline. Okay, the story is about bringing your family out. So, bring out your family. How about your whole family? We want it to be pretty long enough to fill up that line. Okay, so let's see if we want to make this also Blackadder. See, Blackadder's not such a great subheadline. Okay, so see what else we can find. Something that's going to go along with it. Something that's a little fancier, but not so fancy. That it's got to complement our main headline. It's a little too small. too much there. Let's come down. Let's see what else we got. It's really hard to find complementary scripting fonts that go well with each other. So I'm looking for something that's just looks sort of handwritten, maybe. Not fancy enough. Right. Actually, I kind of like that. So this is Rage Italic. Bring out your whole family for fun. I like that. Bring out your whole family for fun. Okay. So, all right. So we've added and we've got all of our text on here. So the next step is going to be to add our captions. So to add your captions, we have another file. So we're going to go back up here to place, right? And the other file. All right, the other file is called caption ipsum. So we're going to click on that. So this is our caption file, and it's a lorem ipsum file, which I'm just going to show you. It's this kind of fake Latin looking text, which a lot of designers use as a placeholder text. So they just use it whenever they need some text to fill in a place. So we're going to use this as our caption. And it's got 10 different captions on here. And so what I'm going to do is just like before, I'm going to get my text tool and I'm going to select that first one and hit Control A. So I have all the text. And then we're going to change this also to this font again, which was Californian. See how I just selected it and it let me see what that was. So select all. Go to that Californian. I'm just going to put in C-A-L-I-F, Californian regular. And we want it to be a little smaller than this. This was 12 point, so let's go down to 10 point text. That looks like a pretty good caption size right there. Alright, so now I'm going to go back up here to my view and turn my grids back on. You always want your captions to fit the grid if possible. Okay, so I'm going to use this caption right here for my largest photo, which is right here. And then I'm going to just push this over like that. Okay, and I want the whole caption. Alright, so I have the whole caption, and then I'm just going to move it down like that. Okay, so now to get my next caption, I'm just going to click on that red plus right here. And it's going to let me get the rest of the text. And then, so let's say I want to put the next caption here. Right? I can do that. I can put that caption right there, and then just get the next one, and put that one over here, and so on and so on. So I want you to place all 10 of the captions. Right? They need to go with the photo that they go with. And we're going to say we're going to put all 9 of the captions. You really don't have room for this caption. We're going to talk about how to add a caption to this photo in the next lesson.